Hey guys, Matthew United here. Today is Wednesday, August the 6th. I hope you guys are having a good day today, because my day's it's going alright so far. It's not too bad. There's not really that much going on today, so I don't really got anything to do today. I'm just going for a little walk right now. I'm just by the arena right now. I'm staying just by this tree, just so I can stand in some shade. Uh, so I'm just walking around for a little bit, because, well, like I said, I don't really have anything to do today. There's nothing really going on, so I'm just kind of going for a walk just to get outside just for a little bit. As right now, it's like a little bit after 4 o'clock right now. But it's okay. I mean, it's pretty nice outside today. Like, it is pretty sunny outside, you can probably tell. And it's pretty warm outside. Like, I think it's like maybe like 27 degrees, 26 maybe, roughly around there. Or maybe it's like 28 or whatever, but yeah. By the way, hope you guys had a good Civic Holiday long weekend, because my weekend was okay. It was not too bad. Let me know in the comments below and let me know how your long weekend was, because it was okay for me. But yeah, guys, today's Wednesday, so which means we're already halfway through the week, which means in 2 days it'll be Friday. So I mean, at least that's good, as tomorrow's Thursday and all that. But yeah. So for today's video, it's not really going to be that much I'm going to be talking to you guys about. However, there is something that I thought about and that I kind of want to talk about today. If you guys remember this, in case if you haven't, I'll remind you guys, but a couple years ago, I actually did a video where I was talking about my favorite memories from my teenage years and all that. And I kind of thought about it, and I don't think I'd done a video where I talked about my memories, like favorite memories at least, from like after high school. So like from 2020, 2021 and all that. I don't know if I did or not, but I know in the video I did a couple years ago, I mostly talked about my favorite memories from my teenage years, like throughout high school. But I don't know if I've done one me talk about after high school, at least for like memory wise. So I figured maybe for today I'll do that kind of video. So for this video I'm going to talk about my favorite memories from after high school. So that being 2020, 2021, maybe a little bit early 2022, maybe, but yeah. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know that I did my last video on Monday, which was the Civic Holiday. And you guys, if you guys haven't seen that video, I was hanging out with Dustin, and we were just walking around because we wanted to hang out for a little bit that day. So in case you want to check out Monday's vlog, I'll put a link to it in the description down below, in case you want to watch it after this video. So yeah. But we're going to get into the memories now, you guys. So if you guys don't know, I graduated high school in 2020. So yes, I graduated the year when, COVID was basically like at the worst and all that. And, I didn't get to have like a normal graduation nor even a prom. So 2020 was, wasn't the best year. But I will say, I feel like I did have some good moments from 2020. There was also, some not so good ones, but there were also some okay ones, I guess. And I'm only going to stick to the positive memories from 2020 as well as 2021. So I'm going to talk a little bit of what happened before I graduated, just like a little bit before, but I'm also going to talk about afterwards. So I'll start off with what happened before. So I remember this one time in May of 2020 where it was around my 18th birthday. And I remember I went to my cousin's house because we were having like a little birthday party / a dinner for my birthday, as well as my cousins, because I actually have a cousin who was also born in May, and he's also the same age as me. Just his birthday is a little bit before mine. So I remember we had a birthday party / a dinner at my cousin's house around May 2020 to have our birthdays and all that. And I remember like almost a lot of people in my family were over, and like, no one was really like social distancing or whatever. And I don't know if that's another thing too. No one at the birthday party was wearing a mask either. So that was pretty cool. So at least I know that at the time we were kind of having like a normal dinner party or whatever, without worrying about COVID restrictions and stuff like that. As mind you, this was literally like a month after we were all in lockdown, and like when everyone was staying home and stuff like that. So that's one cool memory I have. And another cool memory I have from 2020, or at least May 2020, was that I remember I volunteered for this one food drive called the May 16th Miracle, where it was like in like a warehouse where like we were like putting like canned goods in like certain boxes, and like they were being like shipped to like people's doorsteps and like I think food banks or whatever. That was pretty cool because there was actually like a lot of people that were volunteering, and it was like a huge event that took place for Chatham Kent, like a huge food drive. And guys, it was so big that it actually made the news. Like, I'm not even joking. It actually made the news, and it was like, really big, and it was like a good success. So that was really cool that I did. Now we're gonna go to the memories from after high school. So after high school, there were some things that kind of were going on. Not a whole lot, but because mostly throughout the summer of 2020, that's when the COVID restrictions were kind of loosening up a bit, but they were still mostly in place. Like for example, like I remember mostly in the summer of 2020, like more people started to go outside again, and there wasn't like as much people staying home. But I mean, obviously in 2020, like almost all of 2020, there was no concerts going on or really not much going on anyways. Only like certain small events or whatever. But no, there were still some okay times. Like I remember in 2020 there were times where I was hanging out with my friends like Dustin. Like of course, me and Dustin were still hanging out in 2020, like always, but And I remember I was hanging out with a couple of other people that I used to hang out with back in the day. Um, as I remember this one time around like the end of summer, beginning of fall, I remember we went to the boat near the Black Bridge for the first time. If you guys actually don't know this, but I actually made a video about it, and it's actually on this channel. You just have to scroll all the way down to like towards the beginning of the videos, and it'll be right there. But yeah, I remember I did a vlog at the boat at the Black Bridge for the first time with a few of my friends, including Dustin in 2020. And that was pretty cool. That was really one good memory, as that was our first time going to the boat. Um, and then I also remember around Canada Day in 2020, I remember we went to one of my parents' friend's house over by CK school. And I remember we were doing like a little campfire, and I think there were some fireworks going off like near the track field at CK school. But that's kind of cool. Like at least we got to hang out with some friends and like have a campfire. Although we had to leave kind of early because the mosquitoes were getting like super bad. As mind you, this was around the time when like a lot of mosquitoes were going outside, and it was just not good. But it was still a good time. I still had fun at their house. And I also remember around sometime in July of 2020, I remember I actually went to London because we were actually getting uniforms for my brother because he was actually starting high school in 2020, as this is like a couple months before he started. As what's funny is that the year I graduated from high school was also the year my brother started high school, as he also went to UCC like me. So yeah, I remember we went to London because there was a store there that you can get like UCC uniforms at, and we got my brother's uniforms there. So I went to London one day in 2020. That was kind of cool. We weren't there for long. We were just there for like maybe an hour or two. It was not bad though. It was still okay. I still had fun there. And I think we even stopped at Old Navy, I believe, too, on the way back home. So yeah, at least that's cool. Or wait, I don't know if it was before like when we got to London or if we were leaving, but I also remember we went to Old Navy that day. Um, and of course, for my high school graduation, we didn't have a normal graduation like you would at the Capitol Theater or even a prom. But I remember they were like doing pictures like outside of the school where you stand up on like a little stage and they like, take your picture and all that. I remember doing that. And I also remember in August of 2020, there were some times where I would hang out with a couple of my other friends that I don't hang out with anymore. But, there were still some good times. Like we would walk around and we would like, go back to their place, just chill there for a bit and, do some adventures. So that was cool. Not the friends that I went to the boat with, but like a couple other friends from high school. So yeah. As that's one thing I've noticed too. I noticed like in 2020, I actually still was hanging out with like friends that I used to hang out with like during high school, like even after graduation, like for a little bit after graduation, I'd still have some friends I'd, hang out with from high school, like at least a few of them. So yeah, but nowadays I don't, because I don't really talk to them anymore, but that's okay. I mean, then again, it was a while back now. It was like a long time ago. So, of course we're all gonna move on and, you know, have new friends or whatever. But, they were good times. Uh, and I remember around October of 2020, I remember I went to their, or I went to, sorry guys. I remember around October of 2020, I remember I actually hung out with one of my friends a few times at their house. This one time in early October, I remember I saw them downtown near the mall, And I remember I was walking with them because they had to go to Shopper. Then I remember I went to their house to hang out for a bit. And I think Dustin came out for a little bit. I think Dustin came over a little later on, but yeah. And then I remember I also slept over at one of my friend's house at one point too, and that was okay. And yeah, like there were some things from 2020 that I remember, but I don't like exactly remember how it was because it was a long time ago now. But I do remember a good amount of things. Uh, and then I remember in November of 2020, I remember I went to a Remembrance Day ceremony. That was okay. The weather was actually pretty nice and sunny that day, although there was one lady that was like kind of like, protesting and like all that during the 2 minutes of silence, and that was not good. Which I know I said I was gonna focus on the positive memories, but the ceremony was still good. Like besides that, it was still good. Um, and then December of 2020, I remember, uh, huh. Well, I do know in October and December of 2020, I remember I actually got to have my Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners that year, with my family in 2020. So that was cool. Um, there wasn't really that many other things happening either. I know in August in 2020, actually, I remember I actually went to Rondeau to visit some family at Rondeau Park. That was kind of cool. So at least I got to see some family in 2020 still in person, and as well as friends. So at least that's not bad. So I guess 2020 wasn't so bad after all. But the only thing that could have been better is if we weren't dealing with COVID or, you know, stuff like that. And I wish I had prom and a normal grad that year, because then 2020 would have been actually a pretty good year. And I wish in 2020 there were some concerts I would go to, but that's okay. Um, yeah, other than that, there's not really much else for 2020 that I remember. I know on New Year's Eve in 2020, I was hanging out with Dustin and we were at the Black Bridge area, and I remember it was actually pretty sunny that day. That's one more thing from 2020 that I can remember. Um, so I guess we're gonna move on to 2021 now. Uh, well, let's see. In 2021, like early 2021, there were days where I would hang out with my friends at their house, and I was, of course, hanging out with Dustin, and we had some good times at their house and all that. And same with like February, March. Even though February, March, we kind of slowed down on hanging out a little bit. Like, not me and Dustin, but like, the other friends. But you know, there are still some good times there. Uh, I also remember in May of 2021. I remember I actually went back to the other friend's house, and I remember I started dating a girl around that time, but we broke up like 2 weeks later. Um, but I mean, it was still kind of cool, I guess. Uh, Now, 2021, the thing about 2021 is that it wasn't really so much like 2020 where there was like nothing going on, but it was also like 2020 because there was still like not a lot going on, but there was like some things that were starting to come back in person, but like not as much. But, like for example, I remember in I think May or June of 2021, I remember actually here at Memorial Arena parking lot, they had that drive-through Rip Fest. So at least that was like one thing they did that was like kind of normal-ish, but it wasn't exactly like the normal thing. But yeah, I also remember me and Dustin hung out on Canada Day in 2021, and we did that dual vlog at the Blackbridge area. That was pretty cool, and I think that was actually our first time doing a dual vlog like on both our channels. So that's kind of cool too. Um, and I also remember, my birthday in 2021 when I turned 19. That was kind of cool. I didn't really do that much for my birthday that year, but it was still okay. And I also remember I actually went to Burlington around December of 2021 with my mom and my grandma. Yeah, so on December 7th in 2021, because I remember the exact day actually, December 7th, 2021, me, my mom, my grandma, we went to Burlington to go to IKEA. And that was actually my first time going anywhere like really far from Chatham since like 2019 actually. I know I just mentioned that I went to London that one day in 2020, but like, that was my first time going anywhere, farther than London since like 2019. So that was pretty cool. And I also remember, I'm trying to think of what else happened in 2021. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Oh yeah, I also remember in September of 2021, I remember they had the Art in the Park at, of course, Tecumseh Park, and that was kind of cool actually having like a festival finally, like in person. But there wasn't really that much there, but it was still okay. But I also remember in December of 2021, I remember there were some bands that were actually starting to go on tours again. Like I remember specifically, Big Wreck actually went on tour in Ontario in December 2021, and they played in London. They didn't come here though, but they played in like London, so that was like the closest, we actually had a normal concert in town. It was like London or Windsor, but that's still kind of cool, I guess. And then also in December 2021, I remember Windsor had that Christmas light show at Jackson Park, which I didn't go to that, but Dustin did. So at least he, did that. But I wish I went to there because that would have been cool. But I also remember in December 2021, I remember Tecumseh Park actually had like this Christmas festival called called Santa Fest, and they actually had like people actually were there, and they had that light show with the armories, and they had like a stage where like local bands played, like I think Big Shiny Tunes and Walking 47 played there, so that was kind of cool. Because I remember one day I was walking around downtown when it happened, and I remember hearing like live music coming from the park, and I remember I was like, "Ooh, I wonder what's going on." I hear a band playing, and so I remember I walked over to the park, and I remember seeing like the festival going on, and I was like, "Oh crap, like that's kind of cool." I don't know if I was allowed in there or not, because I don't know if you had to get tickets for the event or not. But I was outside of it, like I was outside of the fence, and I thought that was kind of cool. So at least I kind of got to see some of it, but not like actually go inside and check it out. It would have been cool, and I think there were actually some like vendors there too. I think like a few at least, but yeah, I thought yeah, I heard it was pretty good though. Um, and then there were some times in 2021 where I'd go for a bike ride and all that. Those were cool too, and I remember even going to check out some like cool new things that were popping up in town that year and stuff like that. So hey, 2021 was okay too. Now early 2022, you guys will know it was kind of getting towards like the end of like the COVID stuff and all that, but we started 2022 off with the lockdown. Early 2022, I'll be honest, guys, that wasn't really a good time because I was dealing with a lot of like personal things that year and like anxiety and stuff like that, and just like wasn't really a good time. I do remember we had the Freedom Convoy protest in early 2022 in Ottawa. That was crazy, but hey, I still think it was really cool what happened. Seeing all the people, protesting against the COVID mandates and all that, because I did not agree with them at all. Like the COVID mandates. I'm not saying like I didn't agree with the protests. I didn't agree with the COVID mandates. That's what I meant. But yeah. So there's a few things that were really cool about what happened after high school. I'm sorry if I didn't really talk about a whole lot of things, you guys. I only could talk about some of the things I specifically remember. It is kind of hard to think about all of them right now, but yeah, at least I got to mention a good chunk of it. So yeah, so for now, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you guys about what happened after high school, like some memories I liked and like, what my favorite moments were. Um, so yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video though, because I just wanted to kind of give you guys like this kind of like video, talk about it a little bit, just so I have something to vlog about today. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't really sure what to vlog about today, so I figured this would be something I can at least do today for a video. So yeah. I'm probably just gonna go for a little walk. Maybe like I'll probably go maybe that way, check out the baseball park for a bit, see what's going on there, and then I'll probably go home and have supper because it is like a little after 4:30 now, and then I'm probably gonna go out later. But yeah, tomorrow I gotta go run some errands, like go around town tomorrow, do some things. So I'm gonna be a little busy tomorrow. Friday I'm releasing my new song, but after that I don't know what I'm gonna be doing on Friday. I could maybe hang out with Dustin Friday if he wants to. I'm probably not going to vlog on Friday because I don't really plan on it. But I'm just saying I could maybe hang out with him Friday. So, yeah. But Saturday, you guys, I'm probably going to be doing my next video on that day. Because on Saturday, I'm going to go see Tour de Sunset Jazz Bar. Probably with Brody. So I will be doing my next video probably on Saturday. So, yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this week, you guys. Not really doing too much, but, at least there'll be a few things I can do. Maybe. But this weekend's gonna be pretty good though. I already know, because at least I finally have a show coming up and all that. Finally, like, I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't really been to much shows lately in town. Like, I think the last time I actually went to a show was like during Ribfest. I think that was like the last time I went to a show was like Ribfest. So it's been a while since I've been to a show. And since I'm going to go see Tour of the Senses on Saturday, at least I'll finally have a show to go to. Like, finally, right? But yeah. But yeah, guys. So I think that's pretty much for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. If you did, be sure to smash the button, subscribe to the bell on. If you guys want to check out Monday's vlog, the link to that will be down below. If you guys want to check out my vlog I did on Saturday as well as Friday, the link to those will also be down below. And if you want to check out all my other vlogs I've done recently, the link to those will be down below as well. Definitely stay tuned for Friday's vlog, guys. That's when I'm going to do my next video. And then my video after that might actually be maybe a try not to laugh challenge video, because I realize I also haven't done one in a while. So maybe my next video after Saturdays will be a try not to laugh challenge, and then my video after that will be a regular vlog. So stay tuned for that as well. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, my TikTok, and go check out my SoundCloud, go check out my music Instagram, and go check out my Rumfin channel. All my links will be down below, you guys already know. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.